Okay, first lesson. Changing your perception for your advantage. Realize your entire reality, your entire perceptual reality is not real. It is a product of your imagination. You've made it up with stories, with conclusions. You've put meaning onto everything. You've defined things. You've labeled things. All in your mind. You've separated things. You've called them names. All of that is all a construct of your imagination. Sure, we use these labels and these concepts and these symbols. We use these symbols as a means to communicate. And they're useful in that sense. However, they're not real. They're just models. Meaning, we can put a new definition, a different meaning onto everything. Onto events, onto people, onto yourself, onto things, onto situations. You could put a different meaning onto everything. It's malleable. Okay? That's a very important thing for you to understand. How you perceive things, how you define things, the way you do it, that is how the world and yourself will react. The stories, the definitions that you put in your imagination, they all reflect in your outer world. Your outer world will shift and change according to your perception. Okay? It causes physical responses. First it causes emotional responses, energetic responses. Then it causes physical responses. For instance, okay, close your eyes and picture a lemon, a nice medium-sized lemon. Can you see the skin, the dimples in the skin? Can you feel the texture? It's kind of waxy. Okay. Now, cut a slice, a little wedge of lemon out and bring it to your nose and sniff it. Can you smell it? Okay. Now take that wedge of a lemon and take a bite out of it. Notice what reactions you get. Okay, you can open your eyes. Now, what happened? What did you notice? What response, what reaction did you get? You probably salivated. Your mouth started watering. You probably puckered your lips because you remember the last time you bit into a lemon. That's what happened. Now, the lemon wasn't real, yet it created a real physiological response. A real physical response. Now, I will show you how to use this awareness to your advantage, to deliberately use it to your advantage. But first, I need to illustrate my point further. As you've heard and as in your experience you can recall, there's more than one way of looking at things. Okay, they say there's always two ways, but really there's infinite ways because our minds are unlimited. It's boundless. Okay, so there's more than one way of looking at things. For instance, let's take the symbol of an ocean. Okay, I call it a symbol because if you think about it, everything in the world is a symbol. Everything in the realm of form is a symbol. What is a symbol? It is an object that we put a set of meaning to. And as we just discussed, everything we've given meaning. Everything is a symbol. So, to take the symbol of an ocean, to a person who cannot swim, it represents fear. It represents danger. It represents death. But to a surfer, it represents bliss, euphoria, freedom, fun. Same symbol, ocean, different responses, two different experiences. So we can see how malleable, we could see how we could put different meaning onto symbols, onto everything. Everything I'm telling you, you know already, you know deep down. So all I'm doing is helping you to uncover all the BS, all the illusions that are standing between you and the truth of what you are, of the power that you have. Now, let me demonstrate something to you. Okay, what do you see here? Do you see a hexagon, like the wing of a TIE fighter in Star Wars. TIE fighter is the bad guy ships, for those who have never seen Star Wars. Or the bad guys' planes, they're fighter planes. So do you see a hexagon, or do you see a transparent cube? Or do you see both at the same time? Can you focus in on one and then switch to the other? Can you see a hexagon and then switch it to a transparent cube? Can you see both at the same time? Good. Yes, your mind can do this. Now this is a very simple and easy example to practice on. But as you can see, you'll be able to, if you can do it with this, you can do it with anything. In A Course in Miracles, the first rule, or the first, can we say, yeah, rule. The first rule in miracles is, and by the way, it defines miracles as changes in perceptions. Okay, and you'll see why actually changes in perceptions do perform seemingly physical miracles sometimes, just like the lemon experiment you just tried. Okay, it's the same concept. Now, the first rule of miracles is there are no order of difficulties in miracles. There are no order of difficulties in perception, in changing perception. Okay, why? Because perception is at the level of mind. Okay. At the level of mind, every perception is equal. They're just thoughts streaming across your head with no more importance than the other thought, except for the importance you give it. So there are no order of difficulties in miracles, meaning if you can easily change your perception from a hexagon to a transparent cube, and if you could see them at the same time, you just demonstrated to yourself how easy it is to change perception. Okay, in principle, you're gonna find that it's not always easy because you have a lot of internal resistance that you're not recognizing currently, or you just can't see yet. But it's part of the journey. It's part of the fun. Actually, it's like unwrapping a gift, and each time you unwrap it, it's cool, and it gets cooler and cooler, and your experience gets better and better. Okay, so the outcome from this lesson is you're gonna start to feel already at ease, at peace. You're gonna feel empowered. You're going to have fun. And you're gonna practice this for yourself and experience this for yourself, because I'm gonna give you exercises for you to do. Okay? And they're designed specifically for you to get this process working in your mind already. Okay? We want this to be a habit in your mind. We want this to be an automatic pattern in your thought processes, in the way you see things, so that you can then just go on without thinking, without putting effort into trying to see it this way and trying to apply this. Okay, so we're going to use this, the power of your perception, to make you feel better, help you feel better, to empower you, but also you're going to start to see it in your physical world as well, and you'll see it for yourself. Okay, let's look at another demonstration. Which way is this train moving? Is it moving towards you, or is it moving away from you? It's the same train, same movement, but two people can see it differently. It just depends on which, in this sense, which direction you're more predisposed to, or shall we say, you're more habitualized into. Okay, and there's a lot more to that. We'll cover it later. But for now, just know that perception is highly malleable and it's not real. Okay, this is huge. This is a huge insight for you to understand and to really get. Okay, because this goes really deep. It goes all the way to your self-identity, as you think you are a body living in this body. Okay, there's a lot of power in that. But for now, let's practice this. Now there was a scene in Star Wars, the first one, where Luke Skywalker was practicing his lightsabering skills in the Millennium Falcon, and Obi-Wan Kenobi was sitting there coaching him, giving him lessons. So Luke was doing a fairly good job, protecting himself defending himself against these tiny little lasers that this robot would shoot at him. Okay, and he was fairly proud of himself. Then Obi-Wan Kenobi said, okay, now try it again, but put these blinders on. This blinder, so you couldn't see. So Luke had to defend himself without using his eyes. And as he found out, he couldn't. He was getting hit with his laser, and it would shoot him. And so he was quickly humbled. The lesson that Obi-Wan Kenobi gave to him, he said, was something to the effect of, do not trust your eyes, they deceive you. Do not trust your eyes, they deceive you. Okay? Look at this here. Do you see horizontal lines? Do you see them waving or curving? They're really straight, but it appears that they're curving. Okay? We see it all the time. It appears that the world is flat, but we know it's round. It appears that a plane flying in the sky is only getting smaller, but we know it's not. We know it's just flying further away from us. Okay? Our eyes deceive you. Here's another way our eyes deceive us. Is you don't realize, but in a split second, in a very split second, you are choosing what experience you want to have. Okay? You choose what experience you want to have, and then you choose the perception that would fit that. All right? Meaning, you want to feel like a victim, or you want to feel angry. You make that choice, and then you will look out into the world and find the proof that would validate that experience that you want. So you find evidence in the world, and you use that as proof or justification as to why you should feel the way you want to feel. It's kind of like building a tapestry, building a picture, okay? You take a piece of thread here, a piece of tape here, glue it to this thing, take a piece of button there, sew it here, and you come up with some picture. And then you try to show it to your friends and to other people, and sometimes they see it, most of the time they don't. Okay? But the more people who do see it, the better, right? The more real it becomes. But that's what we're doing. We're taking little bits and pieces from reality, from the real reality, which is everything that's really going on in the physical world, inside ourselves. Okay? We're taking bits and pieces of reality, putting it together, and coming up with our own picture. And whatever picture that you want it to look like. Okay? And for whatever experience you're trying to achieve. Experience meaning emotions and feelings and how you experience the world. All right? And this is what's going on in your mind at a very fast, say, nanosecond. Okay, that's not a nanosecond. That's too fast. And my point is, it's happening really fast that you can catch it. You can see it for yourself, and you probably know what I'm talking about. So you are choosing what you want to see. That's how you are creating your entire experience, because you're choosing it. Now, there's a lot of power in that. Once you can accept that, once you can see that, once you know that, once you decide, hey, you know what? Since I do choose it, I'm going to choose a reality that I prefer, a reality that feels better, that's more fun, that's more adventurous, that's more abundance, that's more exciting, that's more loving, that's more peaceful, that's more kind, that's more intelligent, that's more beautiful, that's more musical, it's more artistic, more safe. And that happens. That happens with a lot of awareness, and this is a method to do it. Okay, once you get good at it, you can easily create your world however you want, and you can do it fast. You can do it in an instant. Not necessarily in the physical instant, meaning if you want a yacht, bam, you have it right there, although that can happen. And in many cases that does happen. It just really depends upon the level of your awareness and the level of your willingness to accept responsibility for your entire experience. But that comes in time. You just do it, you just have fun. This is meant to all have fun, okay? And by having fun, you begin to awaken more and more. More insight starts flooding in. More power, more fun, more joy, more peace, more love, more flow, more ideas, okay? But it all starts here. So let's practice. Here's an exercise. Oh, one last thing. With perceptions, you're going to want to be very vigilant, very aware of how you're seeing things. You just pay attention. How am I seeing this? Okay. You want to be very aware of that because you want to then be able to reframe it into a positive way, into a way that's believable to you, that you can easily say, oh yeah, that's true, and therefore believe it easily. Okay. So you're going to want to reframe perceptions in that way where it's believable and it's positive for you, where it makes you feel better in any way, more energetic, more excited, more eager, more abundance, more peaceful. Okay. That's the trick. Now here are the exercises.